Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Infinity and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course the law of attraction. Today we're going to be mainly talking about the love aspect of that, and specifically how love and the law of attraction play together in our lives. We're going to be diving into what is commonly referred to as remote seduction. I know even just that term carries with it such a mysterious connotation. It harkens back to love potions of ancient times or even fairy tales. But I can tell you that remote seduction is far from a fairy tale. It is very real and very powerful when used properly. So what exactly is remote seduction? Remote seduction is using the power of your mind to essentially mentally seduce someone without saying a word to them. This might sound a little woo-woo to you, and if it does, I don't blame you because I thought the same thing when I first started looking into it. But the truth is, if you really examine what remote seduction is, it's nothing more than what we do all the time on a daily basis in all of our relationships. In fact, if you've ever been in any type of romantic relationship or had any type of romantic connection with someone, you were both remotely seducing each other to some extent. And if you've ever had an experience where you randomly found yourself thinking about someone that perhaps you weren't even physically attracted to consciously, if you find yourself just becoming somehow almost just obsessed, thinking about someone, seeing someone in a romantic or sexual light that you would conventionally not find attractive, or even someone that just seems completely random, someone that you can't follow any conscious sequence of thought events that would have led you to be romantically interested in this person. It just seems completely out of the blue. Well, guess what? You were most likely being remotely seduced by that person. Now, don't get me wrong. When I say that, I don't mean that that person is some law of attraction master and that they consciously knew that they were using the law of attraction and they were like consciously scheming that they were going to draw you in with the power of their mind. The truth is that 99% of the time, people who remotely seduce others do so completely unconsciously. It's like they accidentally stumble into this magic formula. But if you know and actually understand the magic formula, that is when the game changes for you. Because now you are able to actually use this method that people unconsciously use all the time in a conscious fashion in order to create the kinds of relationships you desire in your life. Now, I only have maybe 20-30 minutes in this talk, in this podcast, to be able to share my thoughts on remote seduction with you. And there are not only many things that go into remotely seducing someone, but also many things that could be holding you back from seeing success with remote seduction. So if you're interested in really diving deep into remote seduction, into how exactly to not only intellectually know how to use this, but to begin establishing a daily practice in your life with the purpose of attracting a specific person, then please go to the link that I have in the description. I have consciously created an entire remote seduction ebook. As far as I'm aware, this is the only remote seduction ebook on the market, and I could be wrong, but I just haven't seen a lot of information specifically on this topic out there. And in this, I've also included what I call a remote seduction toolkit that has several different tools that you'll find extremely useful to help you create a 30-day remote seduction practice. And this will include an affirmations booklet with 10 powerful affirmations that I created myself. It also includes a daily checklist so you can track your progress throughout these 30 days and even journal about your experience with it. And you will also receive a burn card, which I will get into in the ebook, but it's kind of its own complicated process, as well as an intention card to help you clear away negative emotion around this person and set a very powerful intention in order to effectively create a romantic relationship with the person that you desire. Okay, so enough of my little plug there, but seriously, go check it out if you want to. I have put a lot of thought and energy into creating that, and I know that some of you will find it incredibly useful. So with all of that said, let's get back into exactly how remote seduction works. So, like I said earlier, all romantic relationships are created, well, I'm saying created from remote seduction, but what I really mean is all relationships are created energetically before they are created in the physical. Of course, as students of the law of attraction, we know that this is true of everything in the universe. But when it comes to our relationships, whether they're romantic or platonic or even our family relationships, all of these relationships are first created in the mind, in the soul, energetically. So, of course, this plays out a little bit differently depending on what relationship we're talking about, but just to give you a few examples. So let's say, sorry guys, I had to go off there for a second, but let's say that we're talking about family relationships. Obviously, you are born into your families, so you're thinking, how did I create this relationship? Well, these are relationships of intention. So these are relationships that were energetically created even before you were born into this body, before your soul entered this body in this lifetime. You essentially created contracts with several different people that were going to be in your life, including and definitely not least of all, your family. For most of us, those are some of our strongest soul connections or karmic connections, those who we learn our greatest lessons from, who we have very often lifetime after lifetime contracts with. Of course, we also create other types of soul contracts before we are born. Contracts to meet other soulmates, whether they're platonic or romantic, and of course our contract with our twin flame, which many of us that are awakening are now also connecting with our twins, but that's another subject for another day. So we have all of these energetic intentions spiritually before we come to earth, and so that is how several of our relationships are created. Throughout our lifetimes, we continue to create and recreate our relationships with others. Whenever we meet someone new, it's never coincidental. You never just happen to run into someone at the I almost said in the street. I don't often run into people in the street, but what I meant was at the store. You know, like if you go to the store and you're checking out and you and the cashier seem to really hit it off and have this randomly wonderful interaction, know that you actually had that interaction energetically, either moments or even hours or days or months before you actually communicated physically. I know it's strange to think about, but we really do mentally. We're like a giant web of consciousness. We're always in communication with one another. And on a subconscious level, we always know and when we're going to meet each other and intentionally create and orchestrate those meetings and interactions. When it comes to romance, it's the same way, if not heightened, because you're adding in the romantic energy, love, amplified love energy, sexual energy into the dynamic. So often with romantic relationships, in fact, we always seduce someone mentally before we develop what is, I guess you could call, chemistry or spark. All that spark or that chemistry is a recognition that the two of you have had this mental, emotional, energetic connection going on for a while, and now it's being ignited in the physical. That's what we refer to as that love spark, or that chemistry that you sense between you and another person. What many people don't realize is that we are always unconsciously creating this energy with others, this chemistry, but we can actually consciously orchestrate chemistry. Chemistry is nothing but energy, sexual, romantic, emotional, love energy that runs between two people. Something that is very important to understand about love energy is that the universe does not differentiate between different types of love energy. There isn't just, family love energy, self-love energy, romantic love energy, friend love energy, general love energy. It's all one. So, like with any energy in our lives, when we perpetuate it, when we amplify and create more of it comes back to us. Everything that we send energy out to is like a mirror, and it's always reflected back. It's our tendency as humans to reflect back energetically what we are given. So this is why we look at some people and think that they are so lovable. We say lovable, but when we say that, what we mean is that they radiate so much constant, stable love energy that it's almost impossible not to mirror that love energy back towards those people. That's also when we refer to people as attractive. We think attractiveness is a set of physical characteristics, but this really isn't true. Attractiveness is an aura. And we consider someone attractive in, the quite literal sense that they are a powerful attractor of positive energy, because they are a powerful radiator of positive energy, of love energy. So they always attract that back to them very strongly from others. So how do you go about not just creating more love energy in a general sense, which many of us know we can do, we know how to do it, but how do you direct this at a very specific person? Well, like I said earlier, you've most definitely, almost probably had someone do this to you throughout your lifetime. And maybe you've even accidentally done this to someone else. Maybe you have remotely seduced someone without realizing it. What I mean by this is, whenever you daydream about a person, about a crush, and imagine them in a romantic light, you are essentially sending love energy to that specific person, and they can feel it, because like I said, we're all connected. When someone is loving you from afar, you can feel it. When they're thinking good thoughts about you, you can feel it. In this sense, you can look at it like sending an anonymous love note to someone, except it's not really anonymous, because when they see you in the physical, something subconsciously will click for them, and they will just know, hey, this is my secret admirer, and I think I'm into this person. They won't consciously connect those dots, but subconsciously, they'll just have a soul knowing about that. So anyway, if we were to purely just daydream about those that we wanted to create relationships with, and see them in nothing but a positive, loving light, that person would be irresistibly drawn to us, because love energy is a pull like that a pull that is so strong that it is literally irresistible. You must reflect love energy back. It's our nature as humans. The problem comes in when we think that we're just sending purely positive thoughts, but often our intentions are a little bit more muddied. So the reason that, because I know that you're probably thinking, well, I've had crushes in the past, I've daydreamed about them, and they never showed an interest in me. This is because your mindset about them was muddied. You weren't sending them pure positive thoughts. You were positively daydreaming, then you were negatively thinking, oh, they don't like me, why aren't they interested in me? You know what, I don't even like them anymore. And then you were flipping back into those positive daydreams. And so basically you were constantly sending out love energy and then canceling out that same energy with negative energy. And so it had no effect, or even a little bit of a negative effect, as the person started to feel maybe even a little bit suffocated by you. So in my book, I get into a lot more detail on specific steps you can take every single day to create a remote seduction practice that actually works and that can draw a specific person into your life. But I will share a few of those tips here in my podcast. First of all, like I said, the most important thing above all else is to eliminate all negative thoughts about this person and negative speech about this person. Imagine that everything you think about them and everything you say to anyone else about them, you are saying directly to them, because energy-wise, that's exactly how it is. And everything else I say will be completely in vain if you don't eliminate the negativity around this person. Like I said, it'll just automatically cancel out and you won't see any results. Secondly, and this goes along with point number 1 and is just as important, you need to find a way to eliminate negative self-talk and negative talk about others in general, and if possible, negative thoughts about others in general. Because like I said, the universe doesn't differentiate between different types of love energy. If you think that you're going to direct some extreme love towards one person while thinking and talking negatively about yourself and about all other people around you, then you're wrong. It doesn't work that way. You create more and more of what you focus on, and you get back more and more of what you focus on. You can't just spend 20 or 30 minutes focusing positively on a person, spend the rest of your day negatively thinking about yourself and others, and expect that kind of love to have an effect on that person. So once you've eliminated the negativity that I have just outlined in those steps, or tips 1 and 2, my tip number 3 would be to establish a visualization practice along with your morning meditation, and for best results, twice a day, so morning and evening meditation. I say morning and evening because these are the times when your brain tends to still be either waking up or about to fall asleep. So you go into a different state of consciousness where your thoughts and really anything you try to impress on the mind is more deeply impressed upon the subconscious minds than at any other point in the day. I also recommend that before you visualize, you be sure to take 10 to 20 minutes to just traditionally meditate, release all thoughts from your mind, raise your vibration, focus on clearing your head, deep breathing in a quiet space, and truly just release all thought. Because anytime you try to place a vision in the muddy waters of a very, conflicted mind or a troubled mind, that vision is never very clearly represented to the subconscious. So you need to clear the waters of your mind first in order to see clearly within those waters. If that makes sense metaphorically, you can't create a vision in muddy waters in your mind mentally. So clear your mind first, whether it's morning, night, ideally both. And then take a short amount of time. By short, I mean between 5 and 15 minutes, but stop when you're still feeling good. Don't wait until you've stretched this practice out so far that you start introducing negativity to it, because again, like I said in tips 1 and 2, that will cancel it out. But I want you to take this time when your mind is clear and your vibration is high to begin imagining good feeling experiences with this person. So engage as many of the senses as possible here. Imagine talking with them, laughing with them, going on dates with them. You can imagine, holding hands or kissing. Whatever feels good to you. And I emphasize feeling good because you definitely don't want to introduce anything into this visualization with this person that will bring you negative emotion. Again, that will cancel out the whole thing. So then my next tip would be to also incorporate affirmations. Like I said, I have 10 of my own handcrafted remote seduction affirmations in my toolkit that you can check out below. But needless to say, these affirmations shouldn't just be specifically about this person, but they should also be intended to amplify love energy, self-love energy towards yourself, and love energy in general towards others. Just focus these affirmations on creating more general positive energy and love energy in your life. Next, I would recommend scripting. So the reason I recommend all of these different techniques combined is because some things work better than others. Some people absorb into their subconscious more easily through writing. Others absorb more easily through hearing their own voice. Others through a powerful visualization. Some it's a combination. So when I created my ebook and my toolkit where I get into these practices more deeply, I am very careful to cover all the bases. And that's what I'm trying to do here too for you guys, because I know that we're all a little bit different in how we really energetically process things and are then able to manifest things in our lives. But anyway, so with that said, the last part would be, especially if you're someone who learns very well through writing or absorbs information through writing, you're going to want to script, which if you aren't familiar with scripting, there are a lot of videos out there about it, but essentially it's you writing yourself into your own story the way you want it to be. So basically writing as if you are already experiencing your ideal relationship with this person, being as detailed and emotional as possible. And that is the key. Don't just write just for the sake of filling the lines, but really try to visualize while you write and to infuse as much emotion as you can into your writing. So there you have it. That is my personal remote seduction technique. Like I've said throughout this video, I have created a remote seduction ebook and toolkit that goes a lot more in depth, and that is in my Law of Attraction printables store, which is linked below. Speaking of my printables store, I am also creating several free resources there as well. So far, I have only created a gratitude journal, a 30-day gratitude journal, but I'm super proud of it. And you can download that for free in my store. And I've also linked that in the description box because I really want to magnetize yourself into a community of like-minded, spiritually minded people, light workers, starseeds who are looking to uplift each other, uplift themselves, and uplift the planet all simultaneously. And I'm hoping that I can create a huge database of free resources for all of you out there, whether it's, journals or affirmation cards I have in the making, or, other kinds of tools that you can use, because we're all in this together, and I want to support you along your journey, and I hope that you feel the same way about me, and that we can build a strong, supportive community here on YouTube, on my blog and on my Instagram, which you can check out all of those below as well. I really hope that I get the chance to connect with you either here in the comments. If you have any questions at all about remote seduction, about my printables, about my blog, or really anything, I would be more than happy to talk with you in the comments or privately via email, which again is in the description box with everything else. So feel free to reach out to me anytime. And thank you again for stopping by. I can't wait to talk to you again in the next video.